On this edition of Lexington Now, a major boost in rental and utility assistance, the take-home job fair, and learning how to write your memoirs. I'm Neil Noah, and welcome to Lexington Now for the week of December 19th, 2022. Governor Andy Beshear joined Mayor Gorton to announce a major boost for folks struggling to pay their rent and utilities. We were there for the press event.
We are living in a historic moment of record-breaking investments and jobs. We also have to acknowledge we're living in a time of significant inflation, where this Christmas season is going to be harder on many. My administration is committed to helping address the challenges our families worry about after they get their kids to sleep. Sit down, breathe for a second. Those things that we all worry about. And like a good paying job, making sure they have access to affordable health care, that our kids are getting the very best education, and that they have a warm and safe place to call home. Unfortunately, the global pandemic caused many of our families to struggle with the costs of rent and more. These are families who may have lost loved ones or may have never fully recovered themselves from illness. So today, we are helping to provide a little hope during this special time of year for those that are worried about being able to stay in their home where their family can celebrate Christmas. So today, I'm announcing that we are reallocating nearly $15.8 million in federal funds to help keep Fayette County families safe, warm, and in their homes. You're welcome. If you'll hold on to that for just 1 second. $15 million is heavy. Early on in this pandemic, we set up the Healthy at Home Eviction Relief Fund, which provided emergency rental assistance to both landlords and renters. This funding comes from the Federal Emergency Rental Assistance Program. We're able to help because our state program initially received $264 million for our 118 county eviction relief efforts. And both Lexington, Fayette, Urban County Government, and Louisville Jefferson Metro County Government received funding to run their local programs. But the federal funding formula for Lexington and Louisville was lower than anticipated and was nowhere near enough to meet the needs of these communities. I'm happy to report that since the program launched in February 2021, we have twice directed funds to Lexington, a total of $23.4 million to date. So today's allocation increases that total funding directed towards Lexington to now over $46 million to help struggling Lexington families.
With today's announcement, our program has provided or will provide a total of $63.3 million in rent and utility assistance to our own residents here. The state has provided $46 million of that total. 1 in every 12 renters in Lexington has been helped by our housing stabilization program. More than 1,100 different landlords have received funds. The funds that were announced today allow us to move the program forward into a new phase. It's time to prepare for meeting our community's housing challenges when the pandemic and the federal funds are in our past. Going forward, we will be able to prioritize vulnerable populations, such as households with children and elderly, while focusing on those cases in eviction court at greatest risk of costing someone his or her home. Some of this money will be directed to new housing stabilization activities, such as mediation in eviction court and providing access to counsel for tenants. We want to ensure we are serving our residents with the greatest risk of housing instability by focusing on the parts of the housing stabilization program that have been most successful and proven to have the greatest impact.
The Lexington Public Library is holding its quarterly take-home job fair, this time focusing on advanced manufacturing and skilled trades. Clarissa Thomas explains it all.
I'm Clarissa Thomas. I'm the Director of Education for the Lexington Public Library. We have our tried and true take-home job fair that we have quarterly. This time it's going to focus on advanced manufacturing and skilled trades. So if you are interested in either obtaining employment in those areas or learning how to become skilled in those areas, you can pick up one of the job totes at any one of our locations on January the 12th. In addition to that, we're having an on-site job fair at our East Side location, which is our location on the corner of Palumbo and Man of War. So if you want a personalized one-on-one talk with employers and schools, you can stop by there on January the 12th between 10:30 and 2:30. The take-home job fair is at all 6 locations. A take-home job fair are for those busy individuals who maybe can't commit to coming in person to a job fair, but they want all the materials and the information needed to conduct their job search. So they come into one of our any 6 locations, pick up a tote, and job opportunities, training opportunities, a little bit of swag from the companies will be in the tote. So if you're interested in that field at all, come and check out our employers. This is a high need area, so they're hiring for all levels. There will be a dozen or so employers, and many of them have open opportunities at this time. We encourage you to sign up for a library card. It's free of charge if you live, work, or play in Fayette County, but you do not need a library card to participate in our on-site or our take-home job fair. We have drop-in job help at most of our locations. Check out our website to see where. We also have databases that are wonderful in helping with job assistance, training, those types of things. We also have a program called Book a Librarian. If you need more one-on-one help about your job search, you can go online or call any one of our locations and get assistance. So part of our job seeking services is a free access to LinkedIn Learning, where you can take classes and do trainings to upskill or to find a different position. The job search is stressful enough, and so if we can simplify it, have one stop, they can get all the information that they need with one visit, one call. They check out our website, lexpublib.org, or call any of our 6 locations.
When we come back, writing your memoirs.
It's time. It's time to get honest about domestic violence. It's time, Lexington.
Lexington, it's time.
It's time.
Domestic violence is a community issue, not a private matter.
It's time to get honest.
We all know someone who has experienced domestic violence.
It's time.
Lexington, it is time.
It's time.
Welcome back to Lexington Now. Have you ever thought about writing your memoirs but aren't sure where to begin? The Lexington Public Library's upcoming memoir writing workshop may be just what you need. Ann Donworth tells us how it works.
I'm Ann Donworth. I'm the Director of Development, Marketing, and Communications for the Lexington Public Library. This morning I wanted to talk about our upcoming memoir writing workshop. That's going to be held at the Tates Creek branch of the library, as well as in an online fashion for webinars on January the 4th from 2 to 3 p.m. Really what this is designed to do is help people capture those stories. So maybe you were sitting at the dinner table over the holidays, realized that a member of your family or a friend had really led a fascinating life. How do we get them to capture that story and help them write that either for publication or just to capture that history? So this is designed to help people think about how to phrase the stories of their lives and really be able to enjoy writing that memory and sharing those stories. It can be anyone. I mean, I think that's what we've seen a lot more of over the last few years, is that memoirs are starting to come out from all different ages. Maybe it's a unique story about COVID or your educational journey, immigration story. I mean, people have fascinating lives at all times of their life. And so it's not just about those people who have lived for a long time and have all of that years and years of stories. It sometimes can be about finding those really rich stories. There's comfort in finding that what happened in your life resonates with other people, and knowing, that whole saying of misery loves company. Joy loves company too, and we can all learn from each other, and I think that's one of the beautiful things about sharing our experiences. They're both going to be conducted at the same time. It'll be held simultaneously. But the in-person option is at the Tates Creek branch. The online option is really designed so that people who can't have maybe transportation issues, mobility issues in general, so that they can be able to join and learn as well. All of the library services are available at no charge. So this is free and open to anyone in the community, whether or not you have a library card. This is a new one. So I'm excited about it. I'm a huge history nerd. And I feel like we have lost so many stories that people haven't written down. My dad died last year, and that was one of the pieces that I always really wanted, was how do we tell those lost history, or how do we collect those stories before they are lost to history? And I hope people will participate in this and help capture those stories, because even if they're not interested in it, their kids or somebody else might be. History is everywhere, and everybody has their own history, and they weave together and make this beautiful community history, and that's what it's all about. The best way to find out information is to visit the library's website at lexpublib.org, or to follow us on social media.
Dangerous cold is in the forecast, and it's a good time to think about safeguarding your pets, because if you're cold, they are too.
I'm Megan Hawkins. I work with the Lexington Humane Society, oversee our fundraising and development team, and we just wanted to share some helpful information with you all as far as pet safety. More importantly, this is Fluffball, and he's an adoptable kitten looking for a home. I know it's very tempting to share food with your pets. A lot of people see food as love, and we're guilty of that around here as well, especially when you see one that's malnourished and very thin. You want to fatten them up, but you have to be very selective and careful with what you feed them. Around the holidays, you'll have a lot of people in your house, a lot of family gatherings, so just warn them of the things they can or cannot have. Main thing to start, you'll have a lot of turkeys, chickens, hams. That's very fatty, high in the fat content, so you don't want to share that with them. Anything with bones, I think it's very common to think that you can give a dog a bone, but it's very dangerous. It can cause blockages. It could get lodged in the system, so just avoid that at all costs. I think chocolate, alcohol, common sense with that, don't share that with them. Onions and garlic, that's not really good for the GI tract. Same thing with grapes and raisins. And I think a lot of us think of a little kitten like this drinking a saucer of milk. Well, in reality, that's not that very good for them, so just avoid any type of dairy as well. So the main thing is just stick with their foods, stick with the treats, things recommended by the vet, and you all should have a good holiday together. Winter weather is here. It's very cold, so that's really one of the number one things that we want to encourage people to let them know about, keeping their pet warm and healthy during this cold weather. You know, if you're cold, then they're cold. You have to keep that in mind. If you need a jacket to go outside, feel free to dress up your dog in a jacket or coat before walking them. If you walk your dogs multiple times a day, that's fine, but just limit the time that they are outside. Avoid any icy areas, slippery areas. Check their paws when you do bring them back inside. And that is as far as owned animals, but thinking of strays, Fluffball came in as a stray, and sometimes they look at unsafe areas to keep warm. So before you start your car, just thump on the hood to alert them, to kind of get them to leave before you do start the engine, places like that. But yeah, for the most part, it's the same thing in the summer. If it's too hot for you, too hot for them. Winter is the same thing. Too cold for you to go outside, too cold for them. If they are outside for a while, if they have to be for some reason, try to have it supervised. Have water in a bowl, shelter for them. Make sure the bowl is one that doesn't get frozen over as well, so that they have fresh water available. But a cat like Fluffball would most likely love an inside place right next to the fireplace. Our partner organization is Lexington Fayette Animal Care and Control. So if you see something, say something. If you see animals that are outside for extended periods of time, they don't have shelter, they don't have water, please give them a call, alert them. They will do what they can to take them inside to safety and warmth. The number one thing is hopefully people have their pets microchipped so that if they are located by someone, they can bring them here, they can bring them to a vet and scan the microchip and get their contact information. Hopefully they have tags on, a collar as well, an easy way to locate with phone numbers, a way to reach them. And then always call Animal Care and Control. They're the ones that take in any lost or stray animals. That would be the first thing, is to file a lost report with them. It may not be there the day that you're looking, but if you have the report on hand, they'll keep an eye out for it over the days that hopefully it comes in. So during times of extreme weather, summer and winter, we do see an increase of animals in our care. So we will see a lot more dogs and cats that are picked up by officers with LFACC and then transferred to us. We will see an increase in that over the next few months. And so we just want to have the community be on watch. If you see animals out in cold weather, they're not warm, they don't have shelter, they don't have food, please call. We will have someone come and pick them up and bring them in so that they are taken care of. During the holiday season, people like to think of giving pets as a gift. We really wouldn't recommend that. Having a pet is a lifelong commitment. It's a big responsibility. We want to make sure this is their decision and one that has been thought through before they choose to adopt. So just contact someone. Maybe they can go to visit an animal shelter with you and choose the pet. Maybe you offer to pay for it, something like that. But we wouldn't recommend adopting a dog or a cat and then gifting it to someone during the holidays. I mentioned us having a lot of animals in our care during the winter months and during the holidays, which means that we run on more food. It costs more to take care of them, so we're very reliant upon donations to help us get through. Being a nonprofit, that is our main source of income to keep taking care of the animals. We have over thousands of animals in our care. We do see an increase. Right now we have a lot of dogs, a lot of big dogs, and those dogs eat a lot. We have gone through our projected food budget for the year in just 4 months, so that is a lot. Earlier, we were doing a big ask for people to donate to us for Giving Tuesday, and luckily that had a good response. But as always, if you can't adopt, if you can't foster, if you can't volunteer, donate. Every dollar makes a difference.
That's all for now, but as always, you can keep up with us on social media. Check out the latest traffic updates on Twitter at LexRex, or catch our live traffic cams on LexingtonKY.gov. We want to wish you a Merry Christmas from all of us at Lex TV. I'm Neil Noah, and that's it for now.